Woo!
Hey, welcome Nick Krem to my Grow and Go series here, interviewing rock stars in the industry that has everything to do with real estate, right?
Yeah.
So I'm all about encouraging, educating, equipping people with the tools that they need. I ran across you and your group.
Hmm.
I say an adoptee to the honey badgers. So, congratulations to you, Nick, for growing your company. You are in how many countries now?
So we're now in 13 countries in all 50 states.
And all 50 states. And it was all through the type of marketing we're going to be talking about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear more. So we'll jump right into it. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Grab your coffee and away we'll go.
All right.
All righty. I'm just having fun with all the things that I'm learning from your team and your crew. And the thing that I love most about it is that
Hmm.
you give away so much.
Yeah.
And it's ever since I joined EXP, everyone that I encounter, every part of it is all about growing and elevating
Yeah.
others. And man, you just can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. I think it comes from a belief that we're better together, right? We're all better together. We're all better working together. And there's somebody in the company that has a strength. And what I love about what we do is we're all so willing to share and be an open book where I stick to my strengths and I'm able to share in abundance because now I get to focus on one thing and one thing only. And now I'm able to leverage other people and do the same thing. And you know what? I always say, if I'm not having fun, I'm not doing it. So that's why I'm always having fun giving back and giving back to agents just like you, Haley.
Well, I really appreciate it, Nick. And I know I found a lot of just a lot of value in the things that you were it, it's one of those things. If somebody says, if I give you something that has a ton of value for free,
Yeah.
would you take it? And people would be like, yeah, of course, I'll take it. Yet you put that out there and you try to share that with people. And I think something that Jay Kinder had said was just being radically open-minded. I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's right, really the difference between entrepreneurs that are always radically open-minded. Yes, they have a business plan, they've got a model, they're moving forward. But to say that that's the be all end all is kind of the be all end all really of growth. And what
Yeah.
I have found was, you can morph and really in this business, you have to be able to kind of pivot and
Uh-huh.
morph into new things. And one of the biggest things, and I really want to address with agents today,
Yeah.
are agents that said, in fact, I just had a agent attraction call the other day, guy totally wanting to know more about it. And I asked him about social media. I went to look him up on social media and just kind of do a backstory to find out more about him. And his
Yeah.
last post was from like, I think it was like June of 2021.
Yeah.
And so one of his things was, I just don't do social media. So, um, in this industry, what would you say is the significance of social media?
Well, I think it comes down to like who we're really doing it for. Are we doing it to grow our business or are we doing it to help homeowners? I always tell agents, if you truly believe that you are an expert agent, you have a duty and obligation to get on social media, right? Because there's a good chance that there's a homeowner out there right now that could be getting helped by you, but is going with another agent that might not be an expert. And I always say, I'm not going to leave it up to chance. I'm going to get on social media, I'm going to shoot videos, and I'm going to get myself in front of the homeowner. Because I know at the end of the day, if I truly believe I'm the expert that I am, I have a duty and an obligation to get my butt on camera, get in front of the homeowners, and help them out in the process.
Absolutely. I think that the biggest uh, weakness that I would
Mm,
say, or the biggest stumbling block for most of these agents that I have talked with
yeah,
is, well, I'm selling houses, I'm not selling me.
right. Well, I think it comes down to real estate's what we do. It's not who we are. And people buy us for who we are, right? People work with us because of who we are, not because of the company we're with, not because of all these accolades that we have. They buy us as an individual, and that's who they want to work with. So, on social media, I think it comes down to that same thing, showcasing who you are, showcasing things that are about you. I always say real estate's just a pillar of the brand, and there's separate pillars that create a strong brand, right? So real estate's one of the pillars. Getting in touch with your personal side, the mental things that you've overcome, that's another pillar. And then I always say there's always a niche. Whatever your niche is, that will be the third pillar. And making sure that you hit all three.
Well, I think that that's great advice. I know I came over from the insurance industry, and
Yeah.
I was like the youngest person in the industry, right? So I would go to meetings, and now I'm an old timer, right? But when I started 26 years ago, I would be at the
Yeah.
meetings, and literally I felt like I was with everyone that had gray hair, right? So of course, I and it's a family business, and I was like, we need to start using these platforms. There's, tech
Right.
people that have been creating things that have made our business easier to work with. And
Right.
so, fortunately, my dad was willing to embrace it because he had me on staff, right? And he trusts
Right.
me. And we went slow with it, slower than I would have liked to. But I know that there's a lot of real estate agents out there that have been agents for 16 years, 25 years, 30 years. And they're like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, or I don't, I've got my sphere of influence, and I'm not sure about, I don't really need that. And I think when I hear that, I hear my dad talking. It's not that he doesn't need it; it's
Yeah.
that he doesn't understand it, and there's a learning curve. And when you kind of are in your niche, like you said, and you've been
Yeah.
plugging along, which I kind of look at, embracing new things is tough. So, what would you say? Because I know I go to a lot of the content groups and stuff like that. Is
Yeah.
like, what's the what really helps people get over that mentality? Because I honestly believe, especially, I mean, we all learned it from the shutdown. I believe that the way
Yeah.
that we connect with our clients, even our existing book of business or circle of influence, even them is, I really believe, is like what we're doing today.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to like understanding what you're doing video for. Look, can your business survive without it? Yeah, you can survive and take care of yourself. But is that really enough? Just taking care of yourself. What happens when a family or loved one comes to you? And like you said, during this shutdown, it happened a lot, whether it's medical bills, whether it's going to school, whether it's starting a business, whether they're in a hard time. If you don't do video, you won't have enough to go around for everybody. And on top of that, too, look, I'm all about giving back, finding charities, nonprofits, and different ways that we can continue to give back. Can you survive without doing video? Yeah, you could survive, just barely. And by the end of this year, too, they said over 80% of people are going to choose their real estate agent based on video. So now you're fighting over 20% of the market. And I'll tell
Mhm.
you what, you will not be able to provide for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, for your friends, for nonprofits, charities without doing video. I always say video is like a multiplier. If you're doing business, if you're making phone calls, don't stop making phone calls. Don't stop reaching out to people. Don't start door knocking. Like going to your sphere of influence. If you add video to it, it will multiply your business.
So, Nick, who wants to put on that hat? Who wants to, you know, everyone can go out and get like a little ring light and maybe
Yeah.
even a microphone that comes out. I bought an upgraded computer that had, special camera and microphone and everything. But
Right.
at the end of the day, does a real estate agent have to become like a specialist with this?
No, not at all. You don't have to become a specialist. A lot of times, the imperfection is the connection. Those little things that you might mess up on are the exact reason people will want to work with you. Look, right now I'm on my iPhone and I got my Skull Candy AirPod in, right? You don't
Yeah.
have to have this big fancy studio, this big fancy setup in order to get started. Back when there was flip phones, you could tell if it was a nice camera or a flip phone. Now we
Right.
all have iPhones, Androids, whatever it may be, and they have great cameras on it. So, I think a lot of times too, it's just a limiting belief of what we believe we need to do to get started. And in reality, we have it right here in our hand. Just hit that red button and go live.
Well, and I think that you hit the nail on the head with that is I've had people say, I need to hire a professional, or I
Yeah.
need it edited, or and then now what I've started hearing, right? And they're just dragging their feet, is they're like, I'm seeing you everywhere. I'm seeing your
Yeah.
videos everywhere. And um, it's me. And it's people that know me, and they're like, it's you. How do you do that? And that's what you had said earlier, is people work with people. People buy
Yeah.
people. So all we're doing is we're putting ourselves face to face on a one-on-one to someone who has encountered our video that day.
Right.
But
Yeah.
they really are, they're seeing the essence of who we are, and wanting to give back. One of the reasons I started this channel and live and
Yeah.
videos is I really want to grow my business. Of course, I'm an entrepreneur, but
Yeah.
what I realized is I love doing real estate, but I also love working with, like, I love working with fellow professionals. I love sharing and
Yeah.
collaborating, and I love really encouraging that. And what I found with your, you have a, well, tell me, why don't you tell everyone about, because I'm so excited to have you on, and um, the things that you do for agents. You have just, I've tried 3 other companies. I've spent a lot of money,
Yeah.
and you guys are a one-stop shop. You do have free things that you offer to agents, which can get them started and they can
Yeah.
do on their own. But I've really started to leverage my time and to be able to grow my business
Yeah.
by adding you guys as kind of my team that helps get this content edited out in multiple platforms. So why don't you share a little bit more about what Krem Global does, kind of how
Yeah.
you grew?
Yeah, and I think it really just comes down to really understanding what the agents need. A lot of these companies that we worked with, I didn't come into this thinking that I want to start my own business and start from scratch. But I searched around. I searched for companies that could do what we were looking to do, and we didn't really find any. A lot of the companies, the tech companies, video companies, and people that help you with it, they're going to tell you if you drop everything you're doing and use this system, it's going to work. Well, I know
Mhm.
what the day of the life of an agent's like. Picking up the phone, going on appointments, things pop up out of nowhere. You can't just drop what you're doing
Mhm.
just to do video. So we built it from the other way around. We were like, if you only have a couple minutes a day, you only have a half hour a day, 20 minutes a day that you have for video, how can we make this work? And we built everything based on simplicity. So we want to make it as simple as possible for you to take action. One of my mentors always called it the minimal effective dose. What's the smallest amount you need to know in order for this to work? You don't have to learn everything I know. Haley, that's why you hired us. For
Yeah.
us to know these things and to tell you, here is all you need to do. And if you get stuck any step of the way, we have a human, a person that you reach out to walk you through the next step. I like running my company like how I would like to be treated. If I have a question or something going on, if I email somebody, by the time the email comes back, I'm already going to be on to the next thing. I'm not even going to remember what I was on. So having a person to reach out to, having somebody to walk you through step by step, I think is really important. And I just really think it just comes down to how do you take one piece of content? How do you take one piece of content and continue to repurpose it over and over and over? When we started looking at video as an asset,
Mhm.
then my whole mindset shifted. Because
Mhm.
now this 20-minute, 30-minute video that we're about to do can now be broken down into 1-minute clips, can be broken down into emails, and now it's being continued to be used. I always say you can't replace yourself, but with video and repurposing, you can. You can replace yourself with yourself and continue to use these things over and over. What I always tell agents is, look, you do not have to learn my side. I don't want to learn your side, but here's how we're going to help you get across every platform, get your message out there, and do it in
Mhm.
the simplest way.
Yeah, 100%. So I use social media for 2 things. One, of course, I use
Yeah,
it for content like this to help other agents. I really want to reach out to agents, and I want to grow my organization to where we
yeah,
have a lot of different specialists and a lot of
right,
different people um, that bring their energy, talents, and efforts, but not just like in Sacramento County, where I'm
yeah,
primarily at, but across the nation and globally. I've always been a global thinker.
right,
And one of the things that I found was that is how you position yourself. There are
right,
people who, what is the first thing we do when we're looking for something? We Google
yeah,
it.
We
right?
Google it.
We
Yeah.
Google it and then things pop up, and there's a whole a science behind being the guy that pops up to the top when somebody's
Yeah.
Googling. There's data on what people look for the most when they're looking for an agent, what keyword searches they have. And
Right.
real estate agents really don't have to learn all of that, right? And
Yeah.
and people throw out, you know, programs throw out things like SEO and blah blah, and you're like, what is all that? I don't know any of that. Yeah, here's my
Yeah.
$10,000. Let's go.
Yeah.
And and at the end of the day, that's where I really appreciate the way you help agents continue with their production, continue running your business. And this is how we're going to come alongside you, and we're going to work together, and we're going to be there to answer those questions. Because like what you said, if I'm here making a video and it's 3:30
Yeah.
in the afternoon and I have a question, or I don't know how to get StreamYard to do this or that, right? I
Yeah.
literally have people on your team that I
Yeah.
have access to. Poor Chad and Andre. I feel so bad for them. I'm probably their
They
biggest client.
love you. They love helping you.
But they're right there to help, and they're like eager, and they're like, hey, did you get this? And they
Yeah.
follow up as well, which I thought was
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. Somebody asks a question for help in what they're doing, and then to
Yeah.
have that same person follow up and say, how did it work out? Did you get it? How's it going for you? So
That's
it
awesome.
really, you've got an incredible, you surrounded yourself with incredible people that are part
No,
of
I
your
really, yeah, and I really appreciate that. And I think this is where the difference between marketing and branding comes into place, right? Marketing, it's constantly changing, and it's subject to the market.
right.
SEO changes. Guess what? That course you just bought is out the window. You got to learn a new
Mhm.
one, and either you got to learn a new one, or you got to hire somebody, and then they got to buy new courses. They got to do new things, running back end ads. Everything is subject to the market. But a
Mhm.
brand, look, when times get tough, people go to the brand they trust. When you
Yep.
build a brand, you create your own markets. You are your own markets, because then you're always in complete control. As long as you continue to build a brand and continue to grow
Mhm.
yourself as an individual that people go to, that they know, like, and trust, no matter
Mhm.
where the market goes, you will be in the driver's seat. You will always be in control. And you know what? And like, it's constantly changing. All these social media platforms, all these different places are constantly changing. By the time you buy a course, try and figure it out, it's already changed. And you got to buy the next one and the next one. That's why what we do is we stay ahead, and we help you guys along the path. And again, we don't ask you guys to learn what you guys don't need to. We give you the
Right.
minimal effective dose. Here's what you need to do and nothing more.
So you, I've been in, I expanded into real estate the end of 2019.
Yeah.
I watched my son who, when he was 22 years old, started his own company. And
Yeah.
it was before there was even a thing of social media teams. I guess maybe there was, but people
Yeah.
would ask him, he grew a business internationally and
Yeah.
then sold it. And people would ask him, who's your team? And
Yeah.
all he had was his iPhone. But he basically, I mean, he's a young guy. He was basically
Yeah.
24/7 right there on it. And
Yeah.
what it was though, is connections. He would
Yep.
make connections, and he would leverage, and he would see what other people are doing. When somebody wants to copy what you're doing, it's not like, hey,
Yeah.
don't copy me. That's a
Yeah.
compliment,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what I found, that with joining EXP, I just jumped into this realm of the way people think and do business, the way
Right.
I do it, and the way I've always wanted to do it. But
Mhm.
most people are not on board with it because
Yeah.
we're taught to protect proprietary information, right? We're
Right.
taught we're taught not to share, not to collaborate, because that's how we have an edge over someone else. And at the end of the day, we are stronger together. I can't sell 17,000 homes across 10 different states
Yeah.
by myself. But I could leverage myself, grow
Yeah.
to where I'm part of 17,000 transactions in 10 different
Absolutely.
states. And
Yeah.
that's by duplicating yourself. And when you said like doing the video, um, this video right here, you talking about what you do, right?
Yeah.
And re-bringing you on. This will be repurposed and shared. Somebody 3 months, 6 months down the road will see Nick Krem. They'll be like, hey, what's this Krem Global she was talking about? You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
that's where and this didn't cost me anything. It didn't cost you anything. It's free marketing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and you know, and this also comes down to, like you said too, leveraging the people that you know, leveraging the people in your database. Everybody always says, I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do. Go interview people. Interview people. You ask a couple questions and you look fantastic. You know, I think this is where we tend to overthink it, but I also believe it's part of what the industry has available. And it's a lot of courses that are teaching you how to do a million different things. When in reality, I feel like a lot of companies forgot what technology was made for. Technology was made to make our life simpler, not
Right.
more difficult. So I think a lot of times people lost sight of that and they try to make it almost more complicated so that you have to buy a larger course just to be able to work with them. And then once you buy that course, then you have to get this one and this one. And you know, at the end of the day, what I believe is this was here to make life simpler. So that's
Right.
my job, is to make this as simple as possible. And, you know, there are times where I sent my grandma a training course that we didn't say, like, hey, can you go through this? And if she couldn't, then she would send it back and she would say, here's what I struggle with. So I made it a little simpler and simpler. You know, I stay away from the word easy because easy is different for everybody, right?
Sure.
I can go on the back end of the StreamYard here and I can do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean it's easy for you. So what we strive for is how do we make it a step-by-step simple process that
Mhm.
everybody can plug into?
Yeah. Well, it's even just since today is about social media and learning the technology, my little ticker tape, did you see how that
Yeah.
started up?
Yeah, I did.
So I usually will try to do those ahead of time, and I'm get, excuse me, I'm getting more and more familiar with it. But I think the thing that I've always had just inside of me is just jump in and do it, right?
Yeah,
And you encourage the same thing. But you can still grow. That's the best way for me. I'm a hands-on learner.
right.
So, being able to throw up, other messages on there and adding different things, those are just areas that I can grow with. But I
Yeah,
know that time management is huge, and every real estate agent that I have interviewed, and everyone, and I know it's the same for you, is everyone's sharing their Calendlies or their
yeah.
Google links. So, what would you say for somebody that says, okay, I think I'm going to get started? Like, what should they do? And I want you to go ahead and tell them about your content group and
Yeah,
everything like that. Like, I'm a new agent. Now what,
yeah.
Nick? What do I do?
Well, I think the first thing you should do is, yeah, join Real Estate Content Group. Guys, every single week, it's a free call. We go live and we talk about exactly what video to shoot, give you an exact video on where to get started. But I'll tell you what, I would leverage the heck out of everybody that I know. Look, so when I got started too, hey, this is a true story. When I got started, I started interviewing coaches that I wanted to get coaching from. And I would literally ask them to get on an interview, tell them I would share my audience, and I would ask them questions that I genuinely had questions about. Because there's a good chance if I had a question, a lot of other people did. So I was able to get coaching from individuals, leverage their audience, and then going into too, you know what, if you're a brand new agent, you know, has a lot of industry knowledge, other agents, and mortgage
Right.
lenders.
Mhm.
Start interviewing a mortgage lender every 2 weeks. Give people a market update. And you can legitimately ask the lender questions about the market. Then he'll be knowledgeable and he answers the questions, right? He or she answers the questions. And now it's just, how can I leverage mortgage lenders, title reps, other agents, local business owners? You know, there's a lot of people that you can leverage on interviews. And you do not have to be an expert to do an interview. You do not have to be the expert. The whole purpose of doing an interview is bringing on an expert to ask
Mhm.
questions. Look, you start interviewing, if you interview 5 experts, you're going to automatically be the sixth. Keep bringing people on until you get more comfortable with video. That is
Mhm.
the number one way to start, because you'll grow your audience, you'll get the word out there. And again, now that you tag me in a video, you get my entire audience to watch your video as well. So it's a
Right.
great way to leverage people's audiences, leverage their knowledge, leverage their information. And I don't have to spend all day coming up with a script to go over for a video.
Right. So is this correct then? Is it the realestatecontentgroup.com?
You got it. Realestatecontentgroup.com. Guys, it's an
Okay.
absolute free group. Every Wednesday we go live. We just give you guys, we talk about exactly what video to shoot for the week, and we go over any questions that you guys might have too.
So questions as far as like, I know what I had attended one of them, and you had talked about StreamYard, which is what I'm using today.
Yeah.
So that was invaluable for me, to learn that. And it's
Yeah.
not something to where you have to sign up with something. A lot of agents are like, is it more money, this or
Yeah.
that? It's something where it's a free content group. You can come on and there's some
Yeah.
basic questions answered. I really appreciate that you had that available. So I'm hoping that everybody sees that and that they check in. And there's people that come every week and you give
Oh
them
yeah.
tasks, right? And then there's a
Oh
follow-up.
yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I also, based on people's schedules, and we talked a little bit about that. I know that you guys are very available as far as hopping into like somebody's calendar and getting something set up.
Right.
Sometimes things have to be rearranged. I mean, life happens, right? That all
Yeah.
happens for all of us. But I think if real estate agents today, if their takeaway was go ahead and get started with that real estate content group,
Yeah.
that's a great place to get started with some free information, some great ways to shoot some videos. I know Jocelyn, not new to the industry,
Oh,
but
she's gonna be hopping on videos more. I already see it coming.
yeah, she jumped in and she loves to grow and learn. And I was really grateful to have her as an addition to the organization that I'm building. And her
Yeah.
presence is in Utah. And that's the thing that this kind of stuff does, is it brings us all together.
Absolutely.
So I think it's just absolutely amazing. I appreciate your time today. And I guess if you were to give a real estate agent 3 top things to address in their business by implementing this in, what would the 3 things be?
So you know what? I just heard this on a podcast. I'm gonna go a little bit off kilter here. All right,
Okay.
Haley. Let me ask you a question, Haley. If I gave you $10 million right now, would you
Yeah.
take it? Just gave you $10 million.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this though. If to get that $10 million, you don't wake up tomorrow, would you still take that $10 million? You don't wake up, you never wake up. No. So what you're telling me is
Use it.
just waking up is worth more than $10 million.
Yeah.
Just waking up every single day is worth more than $10 million. And like being able to treat it that way, being able to treat every day that you wake up in this business, being able to run your own business, man your own business, being able to do these things, treat it like a business. This isn't a job. No one's going to hold your hand. No one's going to keep you accountable, especially when it comes to video too. There's no one out. You guys can hop on the calls with me all you want, but if you're not out there going to take action and meet me halfway, that's what we always tell people. I can meet you halfway and I can make it as simple as possible. But unless you're willing to meet me there, absolutely nothing will happen. Look, we can make it as simple as possible. We could take out all your limiting beliefs, and we will. Believe me, if you guys hop on that call, we will take out all your limiting beliefs and make it as simple as possible. If you are not willing to meet us halfway, put in a little extra work, and I will never tell you to stop making calls, stop doing dials, stop doing events, and stop networking. That stuff will always work, and it will always be prevalent whenever there's sales involved. But what I will tell you is video is a multiplier. If you want to multiply your business, if you want to 2x, 10x your business, you got to get on video. And I always say, I don't do video for myself. My business can run. I never have to do another video again. But I'll tell you what, we started a nonprofit that fights child trafficking. Every day that I get up, I'm like, you know what? I might be afraid to get on video sometimes. But I am terrified of apologizing to some of those kids and saying, hey, I could have saved you. But you know what? I was too afraid to get on video. So what I challenge agents to do is follow a nonprofit or a charity that you want to give back to when you earn a certain amount of income. And every day you don't feel like doing a video or you're scared of being on video, go to that page, go to that place and look. That is what you could do and give back to if you weren't afraid to get on video. The fear doesn't go away. You just find things to overcome it. I always say
Mhm.
I'm still afraid to get on video sometimes, but I'm terrified of apologizing to kids in the future because I was too afraid to get
Right.
on camera.
Right. Yeah, those are wow, that's powerful words. And um, I think that that's probably why everyone that I have run into at
Yeah,
EXP has that give back mentality,
yeah,
looking at charity, looking at how to change the world, really,
yeah,
in our own way. One person, I've heard where it says, what could I do? I'm just one person.
yeah,
And you just said it. One person on video, you just multiplied yourself. You just
yeah,
multiplied your presence. So that one message that you give someone that you're sharing or doing right now, that can impact the lives of many people whenever
absolutely,
they come across that. Once that content is out there, it's out there and it's affecting lives. And so
absolutely.
if you want to make a difference, and I've always said, I'm a person of faith. So right, so in your home, your community, and then abroad, right? Well, that's one of the things that this gives us an opportunity to just leverage it that much further, because I
Yeah,
have had people reach out to me that I've never met before and said, because of something I posted or something that I did, hey, I saw this, you're a public person or whatever. I went through a similar thing,
yeah,
and they share that. I've had people ask me from other states that I don't know, but how did you do this or how did you do that? And because I was willing to share, that's
yeah,
why they're coming to me to ask. And I would
right.
say if somebody's trying to grow their network of if you're, no matter what real estate agency you're with, if you're wanting to grow your team or you're wanting to get larger and bring more people on, you have to be able to help other people and connect. And when they see that that's who you are and what you're doing and you're on
Yeah,
video, who are they going to call? They're going to call the people that they are seeing and the people that are in front of them. So the guy, like you said, who woke up today and said, I don't know about making a video, my fear has trapped me, or what, I've got 4 views. Do
yeah,
you? I went. True story, Nick. I
yeah.
went and played bunco last night with a group of
Okay.
ladies,
Yeah,
and they said, "Oh my gosh, Haley, you're on TV everywhere." So this StreamYard format, right?
yeah,
They're seeing these video clips on different social media, and they're like,
yeah.
"She's on TV. She's everywhere."
Everywhere.
Right?
Yeah,
And it was interesting because you may not, like, on your pages, like people, we want instant gratification, right? So we're
right.
sitting there going, how many likes do I have? Or how many this do I have? You have to get out of that. You just need to put the content out there, share it with the
Yeah,
people, and make a difference, right?
absolutely. No, you're
Yeah.
100% right. You go.
Well, I was just going to say, I wanted to thank you so much for coming and doing an interview with me today.
Yeah.
You were supposed to be my first interview, but you were scheduled, and I didn't have any fear, so I went ahead and got you a time here on my
You did it
schedule.
anyways. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I just want to encourage people to reach out to go ahead and hop into your content group there on Wednesday. And also, of course, if they're wanting to, anyone watching today, if you're looking to partner with someone who is in a growth mode, who's looking to add agents that are ready to
Partner
go.
with Haley.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much, Nick. I am so excited because when you join with me, you don't just get me. You're getting things like Nick. You're getting things like
Yeah.
Randy Bird, who was, who's a phenomenal coach. I've got Tom Dave. So people locally, when they hear Tom
Yeah.
Dave, they're like, "Hey, that guy's on the
Oh, yeah.
radio."
Tom's a great guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, "You should join his team." I'm like, "I'm on it, really? Like, come on now." So
Oh, that's awesome.
it's a great organization. It allows us to all grow our business. If
Yeah.
people want to join a team, you're welcome to join a team. You can reach out today, and I can help you with that. But also, if you're an entrepreneur and you want to grow your organization, I'm looking for those agents as well, because I'm needing you to be planted all throughout, and we just become bigger. Each one reaches one, and we can share and collaborate. And Nick, you're making it all possible. I really appreciate your expertise and what you've done. And I just want to thank you for your professionalism and your kindness.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you too, Haley. I'm really excited for what the future holds for you, especially getting on video, getting out there. I know you're going to have big things are happening. I'm just really excited to see where you take this. And like I said, I have a duty and obligation to only work with the best agents because I can make a bad agent look good with everything that we do. So I appreciate agents like you who are experts, who are looking to give back and do good things, because that's what makes my job worthwhile.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, and thank you, Nick. It's a great partnership that we've formed, and I just want to end on this note. I do
Yeah,
still do a lot of production. So agents that are worried that if you're doing production, that you
yeah,
can't do video and you can't do content and you can't get it out there. I 100% believe this is part of building your stream, right? This is
yeah.
part of building that funnel for you, because it doesn't have to just be about agent attraction or helping agents with social media. You can use these same formats to get out to the end users. I'm going to have a
Yeah,
lender on at 11 o'clock today. We're going to be talking about, home loans today, interest rates, how to prepare to be a home buyer.
I love
So
it.
I'm working this, everything that I do, I'm bringing
Yeah,
on the experts to share that, because it really is a team environment.
yeah. I look forward to it, Haley.
Thank you, Nick. And I
Yeah,
hope that you have a very blessed day there. I feel bad
yeah.
for you being in the Florida area with that horrible sunshiny weather.
No, it's a fantastic day out today. I look forward to getting outside and enjoying the weekend.
All right. Have a great one. Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, we'll see you,
Bye
Haley.
bye.